Good morning. Welcome to the BARC Zoom training. I'm going to quickly take you through the system. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me, Jacqueline Collins, at extension 2554. If you have technical issues, please contact Joel Arias at jarias@sdccd.edu. As you are going to enter your BARC request, you need to first go to sdmesa.edu/request if you're working outside of TaskStream. In order to get into the BARC system, you'll need to register with the request portal. If you've already registered, you can come over here to the right and log in. To get started. Okay, so you land at the welcome screen, and this is where you'll have the opportunity to initiate a new BARC, CHIP, or FIP request, or if you've entered requests already, you can view and or edit those requests by choosing one of the second options. Okay, over here on the top right-hand corner, you have the opportunity to update your account settings. So if you've entered your name, extension, but you've moved divisions, you can update that here. If you need to update your extension, you can do all of that here from this page. Okay. If you'd like to provide some feedback, which we would greatly appreciate, regarding the system, you can use our feedback module. And if you're looking to report a bug, so you are having challenges entering something and you think something is broken, please report the bug and we will look into it. And then of course, log out of the system. Okay, so today I'm going to take you through a BARC request. Click on BARC. Right at the very top tells you who you are, what division you're in, so on. Gives you some quick instructions on how to complete your request. Very important that you note incomplete forms will not be scored, okay? BARC requests can be entered by a one-time request, facility request, or budget augmentation. Again, if you have any challenges getting your information into the system, or if you have questions, please don't hesitate to contact me, extension 24554 or jcollins001@sdccd.edu. Okay, we're going to go for it. So I'm going to, as you see, we all have a wide list of programs for which we can enter requests. We recognize that folks may be stationed in a particular division but work outside of those areas, and so you have the opportunity to enter a request for any program that you are supporting. So today I'm going to choose Avanza. I'm going to say that it is a one-time request. Right away, the system opens up some windows for you, some quick, hopefully help tools to kind of give you some information on what the committee is looking for in the particular fields to help score your request to the best of their ability. Okay, so as I've selected one-time request, you go in and we need to know first just what is the item that you're looking to purchase. So if you see here in the example, very quick and dirty, MacBook Pro. That is what I'm looking to purchase to support my program. Right under that, where you see this flagged area, it tells you what the committee is going to use to rate your responses, okay? So the following question is scored based on the following criteria. The following question, please describe the item or request, include all relevant technical details and specifications as applicable. The committee is going to use this to score your description. So the request includes a detailed description, including technical details and specifications if applicable. This is where you're going to come tell us what the item is. It's a MacBook Pro, okay. What size? How much RAM do you need? How fast do you want that computer to go? Something that we've talked about in training is when you're looking at the item that you're requesting, a lot of times there is an opportunity to copy and paste the technical specifications right from the user guide or the website where you're looking for the item. It would be a good idea to do that in this location. So tell us, I want a 15-inch MacBook Pro, I need 8 gigs of RAM, I need an i5 processor. Be as detailed as possible. In each one of these boxes, you have the ability to format the information, so you can bold, italicize, you can put bullets, number them, indent them, include hyperlinks if you like, up to 2,000 characters. Okay? Next question. Discuss how the item will be used and its impact on meeting program or service area goals, how it speaks to the mission, strategic directions, or outcomes assessment. How are you going to use the item? What will it help you achieve? Be as specific and as detailed as possible. Very important, okay? And again, right at the top, it shows you how the committee will score this particular section. Moving on down, we'd like to know where the particular piece of equipment, in this case, will reside. So you'll click on the drop down and tell us. It will reside in A104. This information is important as the administrative services team is looking to make sure that we have the necessary electricity, it could be plumbing, the necessary tools to be able to support the equipment that you're looking to purchase. So very, very important that you tell us where you plan to have the item reside. Okay, next section down. Is this item dependent on other BARC requests? This is important in that we're up top asking for a MacBook Pro. We're asking for, let's say, 15 MacBook Pros, and we also need a laptop charging station. Well, we want to know if your laptop charging station and your MacBook Pros are linked. So you can't have one without the other. It could be software that you're purchasing for your MacBook Pro, but if you don't get the MacBook Pro, then you don't need the software. So we want to know when the requests go together. So we're asking that you put the request ID. If you have items that are dependent on one another, put that additional request ID in the section. You can find your request ID once you've saved your initial BARC request. You can come back to the home page, click BARC under View and Edit, and you'll see all of the items that you've entered, and you'll see the request ID. You just copy and paste that number over into this field. Okay. Moving on down, we want to know how much it's going to cost. So our MacBook Pro, let's say it's going to cost $1,500. Notice that the form is right away doing some calculations for you. So when I enter my $1,500, it starts calculating, okay? You're going to take this information directly off of the quote that you received from your particular vendor. So it's $1,500. I'm going to get 3 of those. It's doing the math for me. Then your quote, if it lists freight, taxes, other dollar amounts, this is where we're going to ask you to put those boxes, to put that information in, so we get as accurate as possible the amount that you'll need to fund this item, okay? So I'm going to say we're going to pay about $300 in tax. We don't have any other freight costs, other or installation costs for this item. From here, you can upload your quotes. You have the ability to upload 3 quotes. You are required to upload at least 1, okay? So if you have multiple bids and you want to display those here, please feel free to do so. Also, please note that if you are looking to find out if your vendor is already approved, you can call the Business Services Office at extension 2771, and they will look the vendor up for you. We recommend that you do this to save yourself some time should you become funded, should your request become funded. If the vendor does not exist right now, business services can alert you to that, and you can have, at this time, the vendor complete the W-9 and the vendor intake form so that the process will move as fast as possible once the funding decisions are made. So we recommend that if you are not sure if your vendor is currently on the approved list, to contact business services. They'll look it up for you and give you the W-9 and vendor intake form if they are not currently a vendor. Okay, moving on to installation. This section is very, very important. Please note, we are not currently scoring these sections. So cost and installation are not items that are scored, but they are items that are very critical once your item or request has been funded. Very, very important for us to know. So, does your item require installation? If it does, please say yes. And then in the next box down, we want you to tell us what is needed to have the item installed. We recognize that you may not know all that is needed, but in the quote or in documentation like the specifications document that the vendor may give you, it could tell you in that document it needs phase 3 power, or it needs to have an electrical cord installed. If you're buying a huge bulletin board, we can't assume that the district service center will have the time or the manpower to install that. And so we'll want to hear from you how you plan to have it installed, or if you're proposing your vendor install it, and what that cost is. Because again, we want to make sure that we set aside enough resources in the beginning to complete your request rather than finding the resources at the end. If you're not sure, please give me a call at extension 2554 and I can talk you through whether or not we need to come up with a good installation plan, okay? If we do not have installation information or the proper installation information, it could prevent your request from being funded. This is very, very important. So when in doubt, send me an email or give me a call and I can talk you through it. Okay, next section is the assessment section. The request includes a detailed plan for evaluation, which addresses data to be used, includes a timeline, and the responsible parties. So this is where you're going to link it back to how this item impacted your program. And then this additional information down here just relates to if there's a health or safety issue, please describe what that is. And then is this request related to an accreditation or licensure for your program? Please note, on the health and safety issue, if you feel that you have a major health or safety issue, please don't wait until it's time to submit BARC requests. Please contact the Office of Administrative Services so we can help you assess whether or not you have a safety issue. And if you do, we resolve those all year. So you don't need to wait for the BARC request process, okay? If you're a CTE program, we've incorporated the CTE program into the BARC process this year. And so you'd say, yes, I'm a CTE program, and then you get all of those questions related to CTE. If you have questions about this section, please contact Monica Romero. She is providing oversight and guidance for any questions related to CTE. Okay, once you complete your BARC request, you go, this section down here is for internal use, so ignore that. But once you complete your BARC request, you can click on Save, and your request will be saved. Right down here, even though this is for internal use only, I just want to point out that it tells you right away, based on what I selected, Avanza, what division it's under, the department, the school, who it reports to, who your lead writer is. So if you have questions, you can always contact these people or look at the bottom to find out who they are. Once all requests are entered, as an example for Avanza, Augustine, as the lead writer, will get all of the requests, and he will prioritize them to then be pushed over to the dean. So depending on your access level to the system, your request will be pushed to your lead writer, and then will be pushed to your dean for priority and submission. You can submit as many BARC requests as you like, but it will ultimately be up to your dean to push forward the items that they feel are most needed through the BARC process. Okay, so I'm going to go back home since I already have one saved and take you through what would happen if you save. So if I had clicked save, I would have come back here, and then if I click view edit responses, I come to my list of items that I've entered. In this example, I have one. Right away it shows what my request ID is, one-time use, MacBook, when I submitted it, when I edited it last, and then what the priority is. I can always come in and edit. So it gives me an opportunity. Let's say I entered some information and I want to give some additional details. I can come in and do that. If your lead writer has given you some feedback, you can come in here and now edit what you've input into the system. You can also, this is where you'd also come in and set the priority. So as soon as you enter your request, after you've entered all of them, you can come back and set the priority level based on what you feel is most important and necessary to be funded. Okay? And then for whatever reason, if you'd like to delete it, you can remove it here. You will have an ongoing list of requests. So at the end of the year, we're not going to purge the system. They will all be here. So in the event, if you don't get funded, you could come back here next year and look at what you've input and see if that request is still relevant to that time, and use some of that information, if not all of it, to copy and paste and submit the request again. Once the BARC process completes this year, somewhere in this area, you will be able to come back and check for yourself to see whether or not your request was funded. So if it was funded, you'll probably see a green $sign. If it wasn't, you'll see some other type of icon letting you know that it wasn't funded at this time. We are hoping that having the online system will help track your submissions a bit better so you're not going back and forth between the Excel document, and also give you some real-time updates on what your dean felt was the priority and whether or not your request has been funded. Again, all questions, please contact Jacqueline Collins at extension 2554 or jcollins001 at sdccd.edu. Thank you and have a great day.